Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is normally Something Saturday where we just talk about things we didn't get to talk about the rest of the week. But today is different. This is Star Wars Day. So we've got to talk about the trailer that dropped today of Star Wars Acolyte. So let's jump right into it. So Star Wars Acolyte actually takes place at the tail end of the High Republic. In case you were wondering exactly when this series will take place in the timeline, that's kind of where it takes place. The end of the High Republic and the beginning of the prequels. So there could be a little bit of crossover between the High Republic era and the prequel era. However, don't expect too much of a crossover between the two time periods because I don't think that this is going to go into the prequel era. But then again, we could be wrong. Now, the trailer tells you that Jedis are being murdered, and we meet this girl, May, and May is trying to be the new Sith apprentice. So the main character of this is actually the bad guys, and this makes it really cool. And I'm going to tell you why. As long as I can remember growing up a Star Wars fan, every one of my friends and I were always fascinated with the Sith Lords. We loved the Jedi, don't get me wrong. The Jedi were totally where it was at. But all my friends wanted to know more about all the Sith Lords and what made them tick. What made the Sith Lords who they are. This kind of takes that theory, that premise, and runs with it. Because the main character we're following, May, one of the main characters we're following anyway, is going to be the Sith. And we get to see them talking about what they think is wrong with the Jedi. And that's exciting too, because now we have the other side of things in this. But there's going to be a lot of Jedi action in this series. And that is a big difference between The Mandalorian and even Andor, especially in Andor, where there's very few references to the Jedi Knights. But we get lightsabers in The Mandalorian in the form of the Darksaber and in the form of Ahsoka. So we kind of do get that in that series. But this one's going to lean heavily into more of the lightsaber action that a lot of fans miss in some of these series that have been on Disney Plus so far. The series looks like it's going to be pretty cool. Now, I've heard a lot of people saying a lot of negative things about it, but you're going to have that every single time. Look at this new trailer. And you can't help but to be excited because this feels like Star Wars. This feels like we're going to have those Jedi and Sith battles going through it. And the cast is actually pretty cool too. Now, I've heard some people speculate about characters and who these characters are. And they can have those speculations because some of them that are speculating want to say something is wrong with these characters. Me, I'm all about let's blend the High Republic with the prequel era because we're slowly starting in the High Republic era to find out exactly why the Jedi behave the way they do now. Because in the High Republic era, the Jedi are a little different. They don't necessarily act the same way. And we get to this prequel era, and we know that they act a little bit different. And we also know that they said that there have not been any Sith Lords for a long time. And we know that's not entirely true. And this series kind of maybe is going to shed some light into why they're saying that, why they choose to kind of keep this from the other Jedi Knights, the lower ranking Jedi Knights. Now we actually get to see some of the Jedi Knights that are going to be murdered. We get to kind of see maybe why May is the way she is. And the trailer hints at the different possible Sith Lords, or apprentices in this case, that could be vying for the position of that apprentice. Because that's kind of what it's about. She wants to be the next Sith apprentice. And as we follow this, we're going to see what exactly happens to her. And for all intents and purposes, it looks as though she's not going to be around by the time of the prequels. So if this goes a little bit longer and this goes into the prequel era as we know it, then they're going to have to figure out what happens to this character. So this is not a very long-term show. I mean, maybe they could do 5 or 6 seasons if they really pushed and wanted to. But I actually think that this is a good little blending of those two eras without kind of trampling on one or the other. And it's going to be really interesting to learn who the Sith Lord is during this time, because a lot of people are thinking it's Plagueis. And it very well could be Plagueis. However, that is a little more doubtful. Now, it could be a number of people that could be around during this time. However, I think they're going to do something original here. I think there's going to be a Sith Lord that we've never heard of before, kind of looking to find their apprentice, and I think that that's going to be a good thing. So it's going to be at a time when they can almost do anything, and that's going to make it a lot of fun. I also love the idea of there being this wannabe Sith apprentice who's basically told that if you go and you kill the people on this list, these Jedis, then you may earn the spot of my Sith apprentice. And that's going to make this series unique. Now, the trailers aren't really focusing a lot on the people that are going after her and trying to stop her, but there are a group of Jedis that will be looking into it. And there's possibly the appearance of some of the people from the High Republic. One character is in the trailer from the High Republic, but there is rumors that we will get more. And one of those characters that we're almost definitely going to get is Yoda. We're probably going to get Yoda in there because Yoda is this sort of part of the High Republic era. And he's a part of all the eras because of the long life that his species has. So bringing him in is going to be fun, but we don't need him to be a main character for this to work. It's kind of that whole thing with bringing in too many characters that you know could hurt a project. I think it's going to have the opportunity to build on the Sith lore rather than on the Jedi lore, and kind of give us more of what eventually will become the Jedis, even going into the future as far as the Rey character and that possible Rey movie that they're talking about. This could actually impact that. And I do believe that as a writer, everything should come from something. So you should always take from what came before, or if you're writing a prequel, take from what came after. And you should kind of make it so that everything impacts one another in some small way. So that's going to be the telltale sign for whether or not this series is good. Number one, it's got to feel like Star Wars. And based on these trailers, especially that last one that dropped today, it looks like this is going to definitely feel like Star Wars. And then it also has to take from the history and add to that history without stepping on anything. And it looks like they have a handle on this. When I look at this trailer, it does its job. It has me excited for the possibilities that this series represents. And I will definitely be there on June 4th when the series comes out, because that's when it's scheduled to drop, June 4th, and it should be amazing. The only bad thing is that we have to wait until June to see this series happen. And that's where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. What do you think of this trailer? Did you see this trailer? How excited does this trailer get you for the possibility that this series represents? Do you think that following a Sith Lord is going to be something that's very cool and unique? I want to hear from you guys. So make sure you leave us that comment, letting us know what you think. We want to hear from you. Also, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're gonna want to be a part of the conversation as well. Then friends, hit that like button because it's free, it helps the channel, and we appreciate it. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Miko says we need more subscribers, and you don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family, and may the 4th be with you.